James, everyone's really upset and mad and disappointed about Saturday. And I don't know why. I thought Saturday was great. I had a great time watching it. I really honestly thought or wished that I could have got on here and reviewed it because I would have really liked to get on here and rub it in everyone's face that I was right that Tommaso Ciampa won the TNT title in his first match. What do you think I was talking about?
Nothing worth talking about.
We get to talk about that and all of Dynamite right here, right now. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
We can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined with the returning James Asante back here once again to review tonight's AEW Dynamite live from fabulous Las Vegas, to borrow a line. And we start tonight with the main event of the evening, which saw MJF face off against Brody King in an AEW World Championship Eliminator match. Now, this was set up last week, and if Brody wins, he will get a title shot at Australia Grand Slam in a couple of weeks. So this match, which I should have known something was up, the segment came back.
I looked at the time. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It was 9:58 by my clock when they came back from what was the final commercial break. And I'm all excited because I'm like, either they're going super late and there's no commercials. We're good here. I'm hyped. And we even had the entrances and the announcements with the intros and everything. And I'm like, damn, they're really milking this. But we ring the bell, and after a very loud fuck ice chant.
Yeah, bravo, Vegas. They brought it.
Yep. Shout out to Brody. Both men are in their corners when Hangman Adam Page's music hit. Now, we'll get to the match itself later, but Hangman moved on to Australia Grand Slam, and he will be facing off against Andrade, who also won tonight, for a shot at the number one contendership for the AEW World Championship.
Throw the whole show away.
So, Hangman comes out, and he's jawing at MJF, and MJF gets distracted and comes out of his corner, which is very close to the ramp, and they had the raised ramp this evening, considering the venue. And he starts jawing back at Hangman. And that distraction allows Brody to somehow sneak up on Max. I don't know how somebody that big sneaks up on anybody, but he sneaks up on Max, puts him in the sleeper, and hangs him off of the apron. Eventually, Max basically passes out, and Brody drops him to the floor, a la the way he won a battle royal versus Darby Allin a few years ago. And that led to their whole feud, which was very good, by the way, if you haven't seen it. So Brody quickly jumps down to the floor, grabs Max, brings him back to the ring, puts him into the corner, goes to the other corner, and hits him with a massive cannonball. Brody then takes a basically lifeless MJF and hits him with a gonzo bomb and pins him and earns his opportunity at the AEW World Championship. After the match, Brody picks up the title and is posing with it, but he gets attacked from behind by Andrade El Ídolo. Brody basically no-sells the first shot, but then when Andrade goes for the kick and Brody sideswipes it, Andrade hits him with that sweet spinning back elbow, and Brody gets dropped. Andrade then goes over to MJF, and he hits Max with the DM, but after that, he's celebrating and is not looking at Hangman, who had come down the ramp and set up for and hit Andrade with a buckshot lariat, taking him out. Page then grabs MJF and throws him towards the middle of the ring.
He got greedy.
Yep. He tries to hit Max with the buckshot lariat, but harkening back to World's End, MJF kicks him right in the dick, and Hangman goes down. But there is no rest for the wicked, as Brody is back up, and he comes over, kicks Max right in the gut, and hits him with another gonzo bomb, laying him back out. And if you saw the still, James, from the end of the show, he is just dead on the floor and looks hilarious.
Beautiful.
Brody poses with the title again before dropping it and going back up on the ramp and celebrating in front of the Tron as we go off the air. So, James, very surprising as we say hello to you, know it. Very surprising. I think it happened this way. I really do like it because even with the distraction, it creates, I won't say makes Brody a threat, but it definitely creates the idea or puts it in your head that Brody can win this match, even against the AEW World Champion, even against MJF, with just a couple of massive blows. And I really like that they set that up going into Grand Slam Australia, even if it did take a distraction from Hangman.
So, I think a funny comment here. I thought we were done with short main event matches in AEW. But whether he's joking or being serious, regardless, this was exactly the match it should have been. Because we had MJF saying for the last 2 weeks, yes, I missed last week, guys, and I missed you. I missed you, Rev. Happy belated birthday once again.
You popped in the comments, don't worry.
I couldn't ignore you. That I'm not scared of Brody King. I'm not scared of him. I'm going to beat him in under 2 minutes. Well, the match was over in under 2 minutes, that's for sure. But it wasn't because MJF beat him. So now we're really going to play up that MJF not only probably is afraid of Brody King, he should be afraid of Brody King. Because if Brody locks him in and chokes him out, hits a gonzo bomb, 1, 2, 3, we have a new champion. So I thought this was exactly what this needed to be. I love this, love this, love this. Everything about this was great. Brody looked great holding the Triple B.
Yeah.
He looked great holding the title. I got really nervous. I'm not going to lie. Andrade comes out and attacks him. Hangman gets out there, and it's setting up for, obviously, all these people that are going after MJF, all these people that are going after the title. I get all that. But I'm like, okay, this is a huge Brody moment. Why are we undercutting it? But it ended exactly the way it needed to go. They all got their shots in. Everything happened. We're seeing, like, they set up the match between Andrade and Hangman at Grand Slam. MJF continues to get one up over on Hangman. I love it, but it's still Brody's moment. And that's what it needed to be. So absolutely perfect. And, we're going to talk obviously about the rest of the show. We're going to go through everything. I didn't expect this. I got nervous because this was a very heel-heavy show. Like, other than one other matchup, pretty much every match was won by the heels. The bad guys won pretty much every match tonight, except for another match. So I was like, oh, okay, a lot of pressure here for this. But no, perfect. It was the great way to end the night after having so many heels win, to then have this sweet moment of, like, this very deserving babyface.
And I think it works very well, too, for Max, because I was with you. I didn't really know how this was going to go. I figured Brody was going to win because they needed to set up this Grand Slam match. And we've been saying for a while, like, they'll probably do a big branded Dynamite or something. We completely forgot about this. This is what they're working towards before, as the in-between spot between World's End and Revolution, because there is no February pay-per-view. Yeah. And obviously this is that show. So Brody is a perfect challenger for Max in this instance. So I figured he was going to win. But like you said, I didn't know how they were going to do it. And I think this was a perfect way, because not only did it build Brody in the way I mentioned, it really protects Max.
Oh, 100%. I am a big believer. These chicken shit heel characters can lose 8 out of 10 times as long as those 2 wins really make you hate them. And a loss like this, fantastic. It protects him. It sells Brody And even if it didn't protect MJF, he's essentially Teflon in the main event scene. So I think this was, I don't think you could have booked this any better. I think this was exactly the matchup it needed to be. The circumstances were perfect. Everybody played their part beautifully. Great main event.
Yep, I 100% agree. Let's do the comments here. Say hi to some people. As Fernando came in, what's going on, dude? Nice. I see you. Let's see. It's saying, isn't Ford and Bayne face? They were wearing white. No, they are very much not face. They actually attacked Harley and Willow on Collision, which is how that match get made. We'll talk about
I don't know,
later.
man. I don't know. I don't think Megan Bayne can do anything wrong.
There's a difference between being heel and not being able to do anything wrong. Did Kenny Omega ever do anything wrong?
I mean, he's 69 Don.
I ask again.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Fernando is disagreeing with us. He's saying they shouldn't have done that to the world champion. But I think MJF's a guy who has done stuff like this, I don't want to say often, but often enough where you notice it. And he's a perfect guy to do it with because he is such a chicken shit heel. And he is essentially Teflon.
Yeah. Look, there are champions that, as a character, you have to think on some level, they don't deserve to be champion. No matter how, we love MJF, and MJF deserves to be world champion. But the character weaseled his way into the title match, and then the character weaseled the win out after everybody else did the hard work. It's meant to make you feel like he's an undeserving champion, a vulnerable champion. Other people that have done great with this over the years are people like The Miz. People like, I don't mean anything by this. Everybody calm down. Flair. Flair was a great heel chicken shit champion.
Jericho, every once in a while, he's a chicken shit heel, and he's great at it.
Seth Rollins in The Authority. There are just guys that it's like, if I see them get beat up 5 nights out of the week, but on Sunday he's able to squeeze out that win, it's like, oh my God, why? And that's what they're going for with MJF. He is surviving this title reign. He's not thriving in it. He is surviving in it. And it's different than his first title reign where we were rooting for him. We wanted him to make it out. This guy who is fighting the odds and fighting impossible challenges from every which way. We were heartbroken when he finally dropped the title. Here, we want it to happen. And yet, he just keeps on surviving.
Yeah, and also too, if he not only do we want to see him get beat up, but he will escape from getting beat up. So when it does actually happen, especially with MJF, because he doesn't always get beat up that much, he usually ends up escaping because he's slimy. When it does happen, when something like this does happen, it makes it that much bigger. And for it to happen to him while he's the champ, that helps Brody so much. So
absolutely,
this really wasn't all about hurting MJF, because like I said, he's Teflon. You can't really hurt him in this situation doing that. This is about building Brody not only into a credible contender for Grand Slam, but just in general, because no matter what they do after this with him, I think it's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is the guy now who won't win the world title. I mean, look, who knows? I don't know anymore, but won't win the world title against MJF. But you know what? If/when he wins that TNT national, international, continental title, absolutely. Should have happened already.
Yeah, it's going to be a really big deal. Hell, I mean, maybe at some point he ends up winning the ROH world title if they want to throw an world title on him. That's not the AEW. But Brody will have a singles title, I would say, within the next few months, just the way they're pushing him. So it should be fun. Yeah. Before we go on, since you mentioned it was my birthday last week, I totally forgot to put these on, and I'm upset.
Love it. Love it.
Hey, Maria. Good to see you.
Hey, Maria.
Glad you joined. All right. Where were we? All right. Let's head back to the top of the show. We started everything off with pretty much everybody who had a match tonight, and that carny piece of shit, Don Callis. cutting promos on their opponents. It was an interesting way to set the table and start the show. Shout out to Mac saying that Brody looks like, every time he sees somebody that looks like Brody in New York, it's just a homeless guy. I don't know, that popped me as a New Yorker. I found that really funny. But we really started the show in earnest with a match, and it saw Death Rider members Jon Moxley, Daniel Garcia, and Pac facing off against the Don Callis family in Konosuke Takeshita, Clon, and Josh Alexander. Obviously, these two factions have been coming together lately with Moxley and Takeshita really spearheading it, as Mox clearly wants to get his win back from the Continental Classic.
I love that play of it. I do love that.
And on the other side of that, Takeshita is willing to absolutely have that rematch because he wants the Continental Championship.
So Dom just has favorites.
Yeah, no shit. His name is Okada.
No, but I mean, no commentary.
Yep.
Only came out for one matchup. And I don't even know that it's Andrade's favorite. I just, fuck Kenny.
I guess.
Yeah. Didn't like that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised he wasn't on for this one, but I guess you're right. Just to jump towards the end of the match here, after Moxley took out everyone, including Pac, kind of with a tope suicida, Takeshita started taking it to Garcia, including hitting a blue thunder bomb, which Garcia was able to kick out of, and one of those crunches followed by a wheelbarrow German suplex. Clon and Alexander then recovered first and came back into the ring and hit some big shots on Garcia before holding him up for the power drive knee from Takeshita, but Garcia was able to kick out again. So Clon and Alexander jumped out of the ring to hold down Mox and Pac as they were starting to stir, and Takeshita was able to hit Raging Fire on Garcia and pinned him to pick up the win. After the match, Mox and Takeshita got into a bit of a stare down, and Takeshita started pointing at the Continental Championship. And then very much later in the match, we found out that Moxley versus Takeshita for the Continental title will be happening at Grand Slam Australia.
That's a big matchup.
Yep, I'm very excited for it. Obviously, two of my favorites in that match. But James, I like this. It was a good opening match to the show. Classic AEW six-man tag. I thought a couple of things that stood out to me, mostly on the Death Rider side here, is one, I'm liking that Moxley and Garcia are using that Dragon Tamer stomp combination as pretty much a finisher. I know it led to a false finish tonight, but that was a breakup, not a kick out from Takeshita, no less. So I thought that was really cool. And two, I mentioned it last week, and it needs to be said again. Moxley's cutter is really getting to out of nowhere status. He hit another really good one tonight on Clon as Clon came off the top rope. He's been hitting them in very interesting and fun situations. And I'm not saying it's the RKO, but he is hitting it like it is. And I'm very much enjoying the creative ways in which Moxley has been able to hit that move.
I love that he's incorporated so much of the people that he's wrestled from WWE into his offense in AEW. Like, we know where the curb stomp's from. We know where the cutter. I feel like the cutter is. I'm not even saying that's a Randy reference. It just felt like one of those things that I remember back then. There was such like a thing about Randy versus indie guys, where that indie style. Like, do you remember the whole dive thing?
Yeah, and there was the leg kick or the leg slaps as well with the kicks.
And I'm not saying it's a shot at anybody or anything, but he wasn't hitting cutters back in WWE.
No one was. You weren't allowed to.
Yeah, because of the RKO. Yeah. So I love that he's doing it. I love that he's hitting it. Speaking to the match itself, I thought Garcia looked great here. Kicking out of some big offense from Takeshita. Finally getting put down. I thought that was great. The match itself, matches like these, you kind of know what you're going to get. You know, like it's in no way a criticism. Like, there were some good spots. Like you said, I liked the Dragon Tamer into the curb stomp. I thought that's a good tag team move for them. It's good to see that there seems to genuinely be cohesion amongst the team. That we're very far past, at least at this moment, we are past fearing about Mox getting kicked out of the group. So I enjoyed the match for what it was. I'm very much looking forward to Takeshita versus Mox at Grand Slam. And it's very weird to see the different dynamic where we're absolutely hating on Wheeler Yuta and I guess to an extent Marina. But the rest of the team we're showing some love to, I guess. Like Mox is obviously a babyface. Obviously Mox is the good guy. The rest of the team are questionable at best.
Yeah.
At best. Like, arguably, Garcia is maybe the most babyface outside of Mox.
But even then, he like will participate in beatdowns occasionally. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like the obviously you have the interesting heel face dynamics of the Death Riders, but on the other side, you have the same thing because Takeshita is still heel, but we're all really cheering him because we want him to break away from the Don Callis family. So you have two guys who are full-blown heels and a face on the one side in the Don Callis family. And on the other side, you had the biggest heel of the last year who has now become face because he tried hard. And then two of his followers, one who are best tweeners and one who leans a little bit more babyface, and one that I think is just a solid tweener. And the rest of his team is, like a dog-looking douchebag. his sidekick who was the title for him, and Claudio, who just I don't even know what Claudio is.
He's Switzerland. He's neutral.
Yeah, I guess. So
come on.
But just within the match itself, it was like, who do we cheer? Who do we boo? Like when Takeshita and Mox aren't in there, like I guess it was kind of easy, but who knows? Like
I think we could all agree in the match, on the team, doesn't matter. The only chant is "fuck Yuta."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I like this. Like you said, you kind of knew what to expect, but that doesn't make it bad. It still makes it a lot of fun. Yeah. And continuing this feud, I'm enjoying a lot. Just because it's leading to this Moxley Takeshita match, and I'm psyched.
Yeah. After that, all gloves are off. All bets are off when it comes to what happens to Takeshita, what happens to Mox. I think the loser of that match is absolutely getting booted from his team right then and there.
I could see that happening. I really could, or at least maybe not then and there, but with Takeshita, I think that's going to play out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But just because we got to figure out what Fletcher's doing. Him and Takeshita are having relationship problems right now. Quick question from I know we mentioned this already, but he was. Do you guys know what the crowd was chanting at the beginning of the MJF match before Hangman came out?
My drink is a little warm.
It was fuck ice, dude. Yeah. And I mean, it's Vegas, it's Brody. I'm not surprised they did it.
I'll be honest, I don't think I registered that Vegas was like a liberal town.
Yeah. So I guess so. Wait, hang on. So if you ever look at an electoral map of Nevada, 90% of it is red because all the people who live in the middle of nowhere.
The sun is just spinning down and it's burning them.
That too. But you'll see it's Vegas and Reno and like one more county are blue, but almost everybody lives in those cities. So, and you have to imagine between that and I would think a fairly decent Hispanic population. There you go. All right, back on track here. After the match, we went backstage with Renee, who was interviewing Swerve Strickland, and she asked him where he was going to shift his focus after his loss to Andrade last week. But instead of answering, Swerve turns his back to Renee and has Nana answer for him. Nana says that their focus is where it always is, being on top of AEW, and they ain't going nowhere. And then Swerve just walks off. So I guess Renee kind of pissed him off.
I mean, I don't want it to happen, and I don't think this is any real indication of it. Not really. One of these challengers down the pike is going to be turning heel at some point. We have Kenny, we have Hangman, we have Swerve, and of all of them, Swerve is the most likely to turn heel.
He's certainly seeming that way, right? He was heelish in his match against Kevin Knight, even though he came out and he was like, "Oh, I was just trying to get this."
Yeah,
kid,
I was big brothering him. Yeah,
yeah, right. But still, kind of a dick thing to do. And then now you have him going up with Kenny, and we'll talk about that more later. But even while he's helping, he's still, they got in a big shoving match after that. And we'll see how it goes there. So he's definitely a tweener right now. I'll say that. But this is the most asshole thing he's done since he's been back, which is, be a dick to Renee. You can, he's been a dick to Kenny, but they're rivals. I get that.
Yeah. I'd also say if he's doing it to Renee, it's a face move.
Got to keep your kayfabe.
We don't know. All right, granted, I guess, we don't know if with Renee's allegiance to the Death Riders, we were talking who's a face, who's a heel in that group. I guess we don't really know where she's landing on that side of the coin, but let's go heel.
Sure, Jan. All right, after that, we went to commercial, came back. We had a quick video package for Will Ospreay. Fernando thinks Swerve is turning heel as well. And I saw it in there. He's got a theory that Swerve joins Max, but I don't know about that. So we had a video package for Will Ospreay. He had successful surgery. Hopefully he can get back soon. Good luck, Will. And then we went
if you're showing vignettes, we're getting close. We're getting close.
I know, but he's probably still got a little ways to go. We then went to our next match, which was a mixed tag match between with Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm facing off against local talents Jordan Oasis and Brittany Brooks. And before you ask, yes, I spelled Brittany right on the bottom line there. That's how she spelled it. I double checked. It stands out.
That's disgusting, right?
It hurts the eyes a little.
Yeah, like there are a lot of different ways to have spelled Brittany. That it's like, okay, I don't like it, but I get it. This is just wrong.
I get wanting to stand out. It's a very unique name. I'm going to remember this one. So she's doing something right. But yeah, it
when you fail so spectacularly that you succeed.
Titus O'Neil going under the ring at the Royal Rumble. All right. A couple notes on this. Apparently Tony found herself some denim in a form of a romper, which was interesting for her.
That had to be hot.
Probably.
That could not have been a comfortable outfit.
Not great in the Vegas heat.
Yeah.
We also had a challenge laid out on Collision by Tony following an interaction with her and Orange and Marina and Wheeler Yuta, where they are all going to have a mixed tag match at Grand Slam Australia. And whoever takes the pinfall will have to shave their head. So we don't know who it's going to be. It feels like it's got to be Wheeler, but well, who knows?
Like, all right, let's just take a second. All right, let's finish the segment and then let's take a second.
Yeah. All right. So this was obviously pretty much a squash. It ended when Oasis got hit with a hip attack and then an Orange punch, and Orange pinned him. So that was that. It was a decent showing by Brooks and Oasis, but it was a quick match. Yeah. After that, Orange grabs a mic. He's like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I really like my hair. And Tony takes the mic and she's like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I did this. Like, my hair is my livelihood. I'd look like an egg or an angry penis without it. And then she's like, I'd look grotesque and ugly. And then she kind of like looks at Luther. And then she just collapses to the ground. And Luther takes her robe and lays it on her. And then she pops up and she's like, it is not going down like that because I am Timeless Tony Storm and you are freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to give Wheeler Yuta a cute little comb over, or I'm going to make Marina look like Mox. And then she slams up. That was a good one.
That was a good one, yeah.
And she's, does her dancing on the floor and whatever. So good promo from her, obviously, because it's fucking Timeless Tony Storm. But James, it looks like you want to look ahead to this hair match and the possibilities. So get after it.
All right, we have 4 individuals in this scenario. Tony Storm, as a performer, I think is bold enough. That would be like, what can I do with this? The character might hate the idea, but I think the performer is bold enough to say, let's go nuts. So that scares me. I do not want her to go bald.
Yeah.
I've seen people say that Orange Cassidy with his character, now granted, this was prior to tonight and him saying he really likes his hair. feels like he would be the most content with it because he doesn't care one way or the other. It's one less thing he has to worry about, combing his hair.
And putting in the product. And
yeah. So that's 2. Wheeler Yuta looks like a wet dog. And I think he needs it the most.
He looks like a black-haired Tim Allen. The Shaggy
Dog. Yeah. Jinx.
I know there's an older version of that, but
that's Tim Allen. Now Marina is like the big question mark because she, like, with her badass style, it would kind of suit her. Like, she's the only. No, I mean, it would be an upgrade for Yuta too, but I think it would be a genuine badass upgrade for her if she had to cut her hair. I'm not advocating for it, but I think of the 4, she's the one who benefits the most from it.
I think Wheeler benefits the most from it, from a heat angle, but like she could pull it off because like you said, she's one of those women. It's like, what are you gonna say to her? It's like I'm not gonna try to pronounce her name, but it's like Thug Rose from UFC. Like she was, somebody that they thought was gonna be champion. It took a little while longer than they thought, but she was being paraded around as this woman at the top of the card because A, she was good. B, they're like, oh, she's pretty. And she was like, no, fuck that. I want to be known because I'm good. She just buzzed her head.
Yeah.
And she was a badass and she won the title with her hair buzzed. And again, what the fuck are you going to say to Thug Rose about buzzing her hair when you're that much of a badass? So it would absolutely work for Marina. I just think that Yuta having to shave his head, getting all of that, the laughter, getting that comeuppance, and of probably getting bald chance on top of the fuck you Wheeler or fuck you Yuta chance. It's gonna work really well for him.
Yeah. Look, let's just hope it's the bad guys.
I think it's Wheeler. Now I do think, dude, if Tony does end up buzzing her head, she could break out probably some phenomenal wigs.
I think so too, and it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious, but I think we're all.
Wheeler's hair is too perfect for this.
Just be Yuta. It's the only time you could describe his hair as perfect in any scenario, and like there's no other scenario where you could call his hair perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I think he grew it out so long purposely because he knew it was going to annoy people to get heat, and then now he has the opportunity where he's probably tired of it, and he can use that to further his character.
And like, quite frankly, he'll look more like the rest of the Death Riders. That's
also true. Danny's got a buzz cut. Pac cut his hair short. Mox and Claudio are bald, so he'd probably fit right in. Yep. It works. I mean, it's similar. I know, like, we weirdly kind of compare these guys here on the show a lot, but Dom Mysterio's growing his hair out for the same reason, because it annoys people, and eventually he's going to put it on the line. I imagine against his father in a hair versus mask match, which will probably be Ray's retirement match.
Did you see? I know you don't watch Raw, but did you see?
I keep up.
Dom's return.
Saw he came back, and he had like the Snidely Whiplash mustache.
He looks awful, but in like the perfect way for him. So yeah.
I thought somebody put up, I don't remember, it was a Simpsons character and it was perfect. I saw that. So.
Yeah. All right, let's hit some of these comments before moving on.
I got it. Going back to his comment about MJF and Swerve saying it's the worst team up ever, that's why it'll work. Wrestling 101. Poor Luther had his feelings hurt tonight with the bald chance. I think that man has come to terms with it by this point. Fernando asking, Titus fell under the ring on purpose, right? I don't think so.
No, that was absolutely a mistake. And they made lemonade out of piss.
Yeah. Well, especially because I think even Punk said this on the pre-show before the Rumble, because they were joking about it. And he goes, you guys know if he fell like a foot to the left, he would have died, right?
Yeah, he would have hit the metal pole.
Yeah, so there's no way that was on purpose. Fernando is also like, we all know it's Yuta taking the haircut. We know, but we just wanted to lay out the other scenarios.
Yeah, and let's be real. We know, but you never know.
Yeah. Nothing's in the bag. Yeah, nothing's over till it's over.
Yeah.
You know what? Backing me up here, Rose is a sweet girl unless you're fighting her. Maria's saying that she actually thinks it's going to be Tony going bald. And I'm telling you, Tony could pull it off in character just because, like I said, the wig selection.
Yeah.
It would be like Moira Rose, or may she rest in peace, Moira Rose-esque wig selection, where she just has something new every week or every episode, and it'd be great.
Let me say, as somebody who has fought very hard to heal his hair over the last couple of years, this is a very sensitive subject. I think I am more anxious watching a hair match than I am a title match. AJ Styles put his career on the line, and I don't think that's as big a deal as a hair match.
Boy, did I check out of that one.
Hey, when he debuts in TNA in 3 weeks, it's going to be something. Not something good, but it's going to be something.
Here. So I need 3 matches from him. 3 in AEW.
He's not going. He's going to be on Stephanie's podcast tomorrow. He's not going anywhere.
For now.
Yeah.
You know, a good point. Something we didn't talk about in the earlier match. Pac versus Clone was really good during that trios match. So, yeah, I would definitely like to see that one-on-one as well. Good call, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. After this, we went to an earlier clip. That's on your end, James. We went to an earlier clip where before the show, as Darby Allin was arriving to Dynamite, he was attacked by the War Dogs, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors. Connors, newly signed to AEW.
Was this his debut? I obviously didn't see last week.
No, he had a match against Darby, I think, on Collision.
It would have to have been Collision.
Yeah, so I definitely saw him wrestle Darby recently. Okay. And it was a good match. I think Darby barely squeaked it out, and then Kidd returned, and the two of them just beat the shit out of him.
Is Gabe AEW now?
Gabe, as far as I know, is being lent out. Okay. But Connors, I think he is signed. From what I've heard, he's signed with AEW because he's with Tekla, correct? I believe.
Yes, he's in a relationship with Tekla.
Yeah, so it makes sense he came over. But I get New Japan is allowing them to use the War Dogs moniker for these guys,
which is cool.
And they are acknowledging they are part of the new whatever the Bullet Club turned into. It's something like incorporated or
unincorporated. But they have a new name now, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, New Japan is continuing to let them use those trademarks, so they are still together, so to speak. But only Connors is AEW. I'm not sure he got the All Elite, but I know I've heard he's been signed.
Okay.
Okay, after that, we had our first of 2 matches to head to Grand Slam for a number 1 contenders match. I know we mentioned the results earlier, but let's run them through here as we start with Hangman Adam Page versus Mark Davis. First of all, I have to imagine this is the spot Samoa Joe would have been in had he not getting hurt, but I thought Davis did a great job subbing in here. Either way, the stipulation, obviously, as I said, Hangman wins. He goes to Grand Slam Australia and goes into the number 1 contenders match against the winner of Kenny and Andrade. And for a little incentive for Davis, that carny piece of shit, Don Callis, offered him $1,000 if he injured Hangman. And then Andrade upped it to $10,000, according to Excalibur. So
Pretty fucked up.
$11,000 to hurt a guy. Not terrible. Really, really quick side note. Speaking of bounties, fucking Keith and Bill have actually been cashing a few backstage, and I'm excited.
About time.
Yeah,
I have been clamoring for a New Age APA for years. The APA was before your time, right?
No, but I know JBL and Farouk and them.
Yeah,
like Ron Simmons.
I have been clamoring for a New Age APA, and just God, it would be so good.
Yeah, and they're the guys to do it. Now they're in that big street fight.
Yeah.
Or the parking lot fight on Saturday. So Collision looks fucking good this week. Anyway, some of the big spots here. Hangman hit a moonsault from the crowd. He went up on the railing from the crowd, jumped over the barricade, and hit the moonsault onto Davis. He then rolled Davis in, hit another moonsault in the ring, but Davis was able to kick out of that. Then later in the match, after Davis kicked out of a Deadeye, he was able to counter a buckshot lariat attempt by sending Hangman over the ropes on the other side of the ring. Page tries to skin the cat, but Davis comes over and grabs him and tries to set Hangman up for a tombstone. However, the momentum of Hangman, Dev, excuse me. However, the momentum of Hangman sent the both of them back over the ropes on the other side of the ring where the ramp was, and Hangman was able to hang on to Davis and hit him with the tombstone of his own on the ramp. Page then gets Davis back into the ring and then hits the buckshot lariat and pins him to move on to Grand Slam Australia. After the match, Hangman grabbed the mic and says that next week he packs his bag for Australia and is shot to become the number one contender for the AEW World Championship, and he says he hopes to see Kenny there. As for MJF, Hangman says he will stomp every future child out of MJF's little balls and take back the championship he never should have lost.
Good line. Horrible line, but good line.
Especially considering what happened at World's End and then what happened again tonight. Great line. But James, to borrow a line that was borrowed during this match, this was quite the slobber knocker. This was
This was hard hitting.
Beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they weren't quite two meaty men. There was like a meat and a half. But
Hangman's meaty, but he's just a very lean meat. He's like 93% lean.
He's like turkey meat compared to beef.
Yeah.
But it was hard hitting. They were slapping each other's meat. I really do. I'm going to bounce off of Maria here. That poor Davis can't catch a break in AEW.
Yeah, I'm gone for a week as well.
I'm gone for a week, and Jake Doyle is hurt.
That sucks too, because that tag match was really, really good last week. Even with Doyle getting hurt, and I think he took himself out for a decent part of it as well.
Yeah.
But I thought Davis rebounded really nice here, and he had a very good showing in a singles match. His first one seems like in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I God willing, he stays healthy. God willing, they don't just use him as the fall guy, although that is probably his spot right now in the team. But I'm just glad he's getting used. This was a fun matchup. Hangman needed a good win like this, a good solid win like this. Let me tell you, little sidebar here, not a tangent, but a little bit of a sidebar. Matt and I from the pod were at an indie show this last weekend. It was a fun show. It was for it was for a good cause. A lot of talent there was some talent from TNA, some talent from AEW, some just loose talent.
So Willow there.
Yeah, Willow was there. Megan Bayne was there. Jet Speed was there. And to my point with Jet Speed, let me tell you how over Horsecock is.
It was chanted quite a bit, both last week on Dynamite and I believe on Collision on Saturday.
Yes. Wow. The crowd loves Horsecock.
Somebody clip that right now.
Not to be vulgar, I apologize, only slightly, but wow. I don't know if you saw the shirt.
I did not. I saw the Jet Set Rodeo one, but
it's a rooster riding a horse, and then it says the actual team name. I
like it.
Yeah, but bravo. Glad they're over. But yeah, I very much enjoyed this matchup. It was really the first babyface win of the night. And for a while, it was the only babyface win of the night. So fun matchup. Really happy for Hangman. Sad for Joe. A non-contact injury. That's rough.
Yeah, and I hear non-contact. Obviously, I know you're a football guy too. You'd think ACL.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not with Joe, especially I know he's had his knee problems in the past. Yeah. So hopefully it's something. They said I think he did it lifting weights. So maybe it's just like he strained a lat or something and just can't go right now. But whatever he did, hopefully he can get healthy quickly.
Yeah. And especially we know that he is going to go back to filming Twisted Metal at some point too. So that always takes time off of his schedule too. So just any time having to lose him in addition sucks.
Yeah. But not getting a nice break.
Yeah.
They still have Hook, my bad. I was like, they lost Hobbs, they lost Joe.
Yeah.
I got to figure out something to do.
But fun matchup. And yeah, good.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. But like I said, shout out to Davis stepping up here. I thought he did great. I thought he damn near broke Hangman's neck with that one move.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a reverse pile driver almost. Looked great, but
I love when AEW gets these stages that connect to the ring. They don't do it every show. It depends on what arena they're in. But Hangman is one of those wrestlers who truly benefits from it because they do a great job of setting for the buckshot lariat.
yeah.
There's always going to be a little bit of fighting on the outside. He sends them in, and then he just hits it, and it's great.
Especially, too, every once in a while when he's facing a monster and they have that, he'll like do the running buckshot lariat. He'll get some speed up. And then somehow, I don't know how he does it, but
yeah. He's not the only person today who does the buckshot, and I'm not even just talking, what's his face? Sol Ruka hits it too. But there is something about the way he hits it that just looks so different than anybody else who hits it. And it's art. It's art.
I mean, we've talked about this before, but he hit it so well back in the day that he had to change the way he hit it because he was hitting people too hard.
Yeah.
Like, if you go watch some of his earliest ones, he landed and followed through immediately, and he was killing dudes.
Yeah.
And now he has to, like, almost land and stutter step so he doesn't go full force into people.
Yeah. The full-on flip right into the hit is essentially what Logan Paul does. It's essentially what Sol Ruka does. I like the hesitation in between.
Yeah.
I like it.
And again, it's just because he has to, not because he wants to. He just needs to, as you know, in terms of hitting the move.
He just doesn't want to kill anybody.
Yeah, he doesn't want to concuss people anymore.
Yep.
Well, didn't know Sol hit that. I knew Sol. I didn't know Sol Ruka hit that.
She typically does. She hits it more in multi-person matches where she flips and then does both arms. So yeah,
that's cool. She was great in the Rumble. Side note.
Yeah,
her gear was
in general.
Her gear was awesome. Looks like she was going to the skate park on a cold day.
Apparently, she got it last minute. That she needed to go on Amazon Prime to have that stuff delivered, which is hilarious.
And then sewed it all together and shit. Yeah. She just give the girl a Vans contract already. Let's go. A couple more comments here. Maria joking, AEW does to New Japan what WWE does to TNA.
Incorrect, Maria. I apologize. WWE gives TNA NXT talent that I've never heard of. AEW gives New Japan Kenny Omega, Ricochet, John Moxley,
Takeshita.
Like it's very, very different.
Yeah. Maria very much wants to see Hangman versus MJF for the title at Revolution.
I think they're not going to give us Andrade versus MJF.
I wouldn't hate it though.
I wouldn't hate it, but respectfully, that's not a main event match for a lot of people to get people excited for a pay-per-view.
Andrade's putting on some damn good matches, and we're about to talk about him in a second.
But it's a heel versus heel main event pay-per-view. They're not going to do it.
I know. I want to see it, though.
I wouldn't mind it on Dynamite. I wouldn't mind a Dynamite match. I just don't think it should be a pay-per-view main event.
Fair enough. At least not at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know it for Samoa Joe speculating turf toe. Those matches can be brutal. Maybe. I hope it's not. Because turf toe is the biggest misnomer probably in all of medical stuff, because we hear it a lot in football, and you're like, turf toe, it can't hurt that bad. Why can't this guy play? And then you see it, and they're like, toe like split in half.
Yeah. Turf toe has cost me many a fantasy football championship. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I was like, when the fuck did you have turf toe? Like, that sounds about right. After this, as we just talked about him, we had a Kevin Knight video package hyping him up. So glad to see they're starting to push him as well.
We'll talk about it after. My bad.
All right. And then we headed to the other half of these matches to get to the number one contender match. Kenny Omega versus Andrade El Ídolo. Obviously, the winner going on to face the victorious Hangman. And as James mentioned earlier, that carny piece of shit, Don Callis, was on commentary for this match, flanked by Lance Archer. My first note on this was, this is the first time these two guys are facing off. This is a pretty big match in my head, especially this very motivated version of Andrade, who's been kicking ass since he's come back. And Tony Khan just gives it away on TV. I love him, and I love AEW.
Yeah. It's so funny, too, because when Andrade first came back to AEW and he immediately attacked Kenny, we were all like, God damn it. Like, I can tell you, I had no interest in watching the matchup. I didn't want to see it be a pay-per-view matchup. I just didn't want it.
You were like, God damn it. I wanted to see this.
Look, I think
you were just upset it was with Dom.
Yeah, yes. All right. That's the biggest part of it. But I could also say I have been very turned off by Andrade over the years.
Fair.
The rest of the pod has always outright been anti-Andrade. I started very pro-Andrade. Then a lot of his shenanigans soured me on him. But I'm willing to say, it seems like he's really trying on this run to be professional. He's really trying on this run to do things the right way. And I would have said this if he was doing it in WWE too. But it really does seem like he understands what this situation is and he wants to really make up for either lost time or just bad perception.
You know, and it's funny too, because on his way out of AEW, before he returned to WWE, he had that C2 and he was great in it. And everyone not only kept talking about how great he was in it, but the fact that he was also willing to do jobs and there weren't any problems with him on his way out. Went to WWE, thought he was quite professional there. Maybe, he didn't get pushed as much maybe as he wanted to, but seemed to be doing all right over there. Maybe even if he didn't get booked the way he did. And then he, got fired or left or whatever it was. And then he went back to AEW. And then there was the whole thing with contract. But
yeah,
now he's back and he seems motivated. And I can understand him, wanting to leave a place that let him go. He did get let go, right? It wasn't a contract.
I don't remember. Like, it had to have been something if there was even a contract issue after the fact.
Yeah, I would imagine he got. I would imagine he got let go, or there was an agreement that he could leave because Ciampa, his contract expired, and he was just able to walk right into AEW. The fact that there was that thing where Andrade had to wait, I guess, a little bit longer, I would imagine it was some sort of legal parting. So,
I mean, let's also acknowledge,
he wasn't trying to be malicious, was my point.
Let's acknowledge the first time he left AEW, he was trying to get fired. Like, he punched Sammy Guevara.
Well, there was that, and then he got suspended, but then he came back and everything seemed okay. But then I think he wanted to go back to WWE and work with Charlotte. And then they ended up getting divorced, and he probably didn't love his booking in WWE. And he was like, I got treated really well by Tony. Maybe I should go back.
Nobody who left WWE for AEW to then go back to WWE has been booked well upon returning to WWE.
I concur.
Rusev is getting just jobbed out. Aleister Black lost a 6-month feud to Damian Priest and hasn't been seen since. And Andrade did not have a good go. He was building some steam with Rey Fenix, I think, as a tag team. Oh, poor Rey Fenix, by the way.
Oh my God, that hurt my soul.
I wanted to give you a call when I watched it. I was like, oh, this is gonna kill Rev. But it's just rough. It's really rough. But anyway, like we're tangenting.
Yeah, a little bit. But I'm just saying, like, I think Andrade, like I said, is motivated and he seems happy to work in AEW. And so far, so good, especially in the ring. Where tonight he broke out the figure 4.
I saw it. I think he even went for the arch too. And I was like, holy shit.
Buddy.
I mean, look, nobody could take away he was in Ric Flair's latest retirement match.
That's true.
Not last retirement match, but latest retirement match.
I feel like we're going to say latest retirement match until he dies, and then we'll still give him a 2-year window just to be safe.
Yeah, just to be safe. Yeah. And just to go here, yes, Punk is world champion. But the difference was he didn't really leave WWE to go to AEW. He was just gone for 9 years and went to AEW. He's a very different case from somebody like Andrade, Rusev, or Aleister. Unfortunately, very different case.
Yeah, Punk, and even then, Punk is the exception to what we've been saying.
I mean, Cody is the exception.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Punk is like his own thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But go Royce Keys. Anyway.
Yeah. Good luck to him. And he, like him, and I know so you know it, mentioning Mariah. Those are people who came up through AEW and then went to WWE. We weren't really talking about those. We were talking about, I'll talk about Ray in a second. We're talking more about, I guess, WWE expats who then went back.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the end of this match. After Andrade countered a V-trigger with that fake pump kick into the elbow, which he is nailing since he's been back.
He really is. The timing has been awesome.
I know, he's so good at it. Don gets up from the announce desk and tosses the screwdriver to Andrade as referee Aubrey Edwards is checking on Kenny's face. Because honestly, I thought he broke his nose. Don then distracts Aubrey as Andrade lines up Kenny with the screwdriver, but Swerve comes down to the ramp and takes it from Andrade. However, Aubrey sees Swerve with the screwdriver on the ramp when she turns around, and she gets distracted by him. So while that's going on, Kenny gets Andrade up for the one-winged angel, but Andrade is able to get out of it, get to the mat, and low blows Kenny as Aubrey is still dealing with Swerve. Andrade then hits the DM and pins Kenny, and he moves on to Grand Slam Australia to face Hangman. After the match, Andrade goes over to celebrate with his quote-unquote cheerleading section, as I think Shivani called it, at ringside, before heading up the ramp with Don and Archer, taunting Swerve, who has now entered the ring. As they leave, Kenny goes over to Swerve and gets in his face about seemingly costing him the match, and the two start jawing at each other. That leads to a bit of a shoving match, but it gets broken up fairly quickly as security is sent down to keep them away from each other, and Swerve is the first to leave, but they continue to chirp as they make their way to the back. So a lot of moving parts here, James. I guess we could start with the match here, which fucked.
It did. I was surprised because, again, I'm trying to be objective about Andrade, the wrestler. And I've, at times, very much enjoyed his work. And at other times have sort of, you could tell, I think, a little bit when he's checked out and when he's not really putting in that much effort.
Yeah.
But I forget that his style can be very explosive. And Kenny's style is always explosive. So these two guys were really just lobbing bombs at each other sometimes. Like, I love the countering of the V-trigger into the elbow, like that rolling elbow. I think the spot of the match for me, I don't know. I think the spot of the match for me was the Three Amigos that, like, gradually found its way to the outside, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great way of doing it. But yeah, so much of this match worked for me. My favorite part of this match, my favorite aspect of this match, I don't know if it was my favorite bit of the match, but my favorite aspect of the match is on commentary. Again, the only time Don was on commentary, Shivani straight up says, yeah, when you hand them the screwdriver, and he's like, what? And then he fucking does it. And it's like, on one hand, awful that Tony put that out there for us to think about. But on the other hand, fucking beautiful that it just happens anyway.
Because Shivani's right. Because I think it was Don being like, oh, I have Kenny's number. And yeah. Shivani was like, yeah, that being you just hand your guy a screwdriver.
Yeah.
So I highly doubt Shivani knew that was going to happen.
I'm sure. I doubt he would he would. Yeah. You don't want to ever give away the potential surprise.
Yeah, but whose side is he on?
Hangman's. It was truly my favorite aspect of this match. And Don's reaction to it is what really sells it. But great bit between both of them. Kenny legit looks, I know commentary's been selling it. I know Kenny's said it. I haven't seen Kenny move this well in years.
It's amazing what can happen when you see straight.
Yeah. When you see straight, your guts don't feel like they're trying to physically kill you. Like, it's awesome, and I'm beyond being a mark for him, beyond all of this. I just never want to see somebody not be able to do what they love because they get forced out of it. So I'm glad that he is operating on a level that makes us happy, but I'm happy that he's operating on a level that I know makes him happy, or I hope makes him happy. So really, really, really great matchup. I know I sound like a broken record. I am so done with Kenny versus the Don Callis family, which is why I really appreciate what looks like's coming. Like, I really want to talk about what's coming next. I cannot begin to tell you how much I am looking forward to this. But overall, a very strong matchup. I'm glad that Andrade feels important. Truly, I saw a comment on Reddit, I think, or it might have been Twitter. I don't remember. The Don Callis family has more top-level talent than some companies have ever had at any given time in their entire roster.
I'm imagining TNA was one of those at one point or another.
I would argue, like, at one point, like, WWE's main roster probably was not as stacked as how stacked the Don Callis family. I'm talking years at this point.
Yeah.
But like 2012 WWE probably didn't have a roster as stacked as the Don Callis family.
I think that's a fair point. I guarantee you they're better than late stage WCW.
Yeah. So so the fact that Andrade is standing out in a group that has Okada, has Takeshita, has Josh Alexander, has Kyle Fletcher, has all of these studs. Man, what a group.
And I think they're being booked very well and balanced too. You know, almost everybody's doing something or is involved somewhere. They've been having really good promos on Collision, I think, mostly, where Alexander is basically just like sitting on a chair and it's zoomed in, and you just have Rocky and Archer and like maybe Davis. They had Doyle and one of them when he was healthy, which was unfortunately all of 2 weeks, just kicking random jobbers' asses. And Alexander's just cutting a promo about how the Don Callis family is going to destroy everybody. And then it slowly zooms out and he's just holding a dude's ankle and just trying to break it. And then they keep ending with whoever has a match goes out there and goes to have their match. And then Lance just like puts somebody through a wall and just laughs, everybody dies. And that's the promo. Like, even the guys who aren't even like really doing anything are still doing things.
Yeah,
so,
100%. So I was just looking at the Don Callis family like roster right now. I'm not advocating for it super hard because it will raise some questions about me, but they absolutely should put out a calendar. They have the bodies for it.
Hey, look, if AEW Heels wants to get on that, I'm sure they could.
I feel like this is a campaign we should start. The Don Callis family calendar. You could even have the guy who does all the paintings for Don make the calendar.
I was going to say, no, it would have to be that guy. Like, they should
right?
That.
Like, all right, if you include Don, Takeshita, Fletcher, I'm going to exclude people that are hurt. So sorry, Trent. No Trent right now. Lance Archer, Mark Davis, Josh Alexander, Rocky Romero, Hechiseto, enough to make me buy it. Kazuchika Okada, Andrade El Ídolo, El Clon, you have 11. If you really wanted to include Trent, you could. And then the injured guys are Cage, Wardlow, and Jake Doyle.
Or you just make one of the months like a family photo.
Yeah.
Or make it the family photo that Don had made a few months ago. Like, you could probably pull this off. It's not hot, it's spicy.
Let's get this going on social media. The Don Callis family calendar.
You're like a month late, but otherwise,
I think we can still do it.
You can if you can get them out. Well, but they have to like make them, so they could probably get them out by Christmas.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I started something, and now I need I need this to happen.
No, you use the cold shower, right? And just a repeated bonk. I found out we have sound effects on here now, and I think I'm going to have to put bonk in as one of them There's apparently a fast heartbeat, which is what James has right now. Yep, I don't know. That's a thing we have now. So I'll play with those at another time.
That made me very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's how you sound right now. Your heart's just beating out of your chest like you're Bugs Bunny.
It's not my heart beating, but I understand.
Hey, yo. All right, let's get things back on the track here. You mentioned you wanted to talk about what's coming next for Kenny, and obviously now what looks like his upcoming match with Swerve.
Before we get to Kenny and Swerve, one last thing, because I wanted to bring it up in the last segment, but it wasn't the right time. House of Glory just announced Andrade El Ídolo versus Charles Mason.
Ooh, for the title?
I'm going to assume so, and this is also the show that has MJF on it.
Oh, damn.
So that's a lot of talent for this Hog show, a lot of AEW talent for this Hog show. And I'm just saying, the last time MJF showed up at an indie show, somebody was offered a contract.
I think you just want to talk more about Hogs.
Anyway, Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland.
Wait, hang on, I think I have this now. Oh no, I thought I had the, but I don't. All right, okay.
That might be copyrighted.
Nope, not it.
So have we talked about what actually happened?
Yeah, I mentioned it. The two of them getting in a little shoving match there.
I remember when they were teaming up in the Team AEW versus Death Rider storyline, and there was something about their dynamic that just felt so perfect. They felt like they complemented each other so beautifully. And I know I just said that Kenny and Andrade both have very explosive styles, but I truly don't think there is anybody on the AEW roster whose moveset and whose ring work and ring speed and ring psychology matches Kenny the way Swerve does. This could truly be one of AEW's best matches that they've never given us. So I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to get people overly hyped, but when I look at these guys, I know you're not a Dragon Ball guy or much of an anime guy, but this really does feel like the Goku Vegeta dynamic.
All right, I got that one.
Yeah. And oh my God, I'm really looking for this. Feels like a pay-per-view matchup.
Oh,
like
100%.
I know you probably want to stack Grand Slam as much as possible to get as many people coming in Australia. I'd save this for Revolution. I'd save this for a very big show, and I think that any card that has that, good luck trying to follow it.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just okay, card for Grand Slam, because I was just looking for it. So you got MJF Brody, Babes of Wrath versus Megabad, Moxley versus Takeshita, Hangman Andrade, and the mixed tag match. So that's already 5 matches. And the last one they had, I want to say, was a 2-hour show.
I mean, this one's going to be Collision, essentially.
Yeah. That's what it was last time. It was like they taped it and they ran it late, either Friday night or Saturday night. And then I got drunk and reviewed it. But
yeah.
But I do think it's going to be more matches. And with the 5 matches already on the card, that might be all of them.
Yeah.
So just to give them more time.
Yeah. Not that it's impossible to get a 6th match in. This isn't WWE. But I do think, again, you're just better off waiting. Even if you could do it, you don't need to do it.
I'm with you. I think this is probably a Revolution match. And given the slight, I don't want to say similarities, but to me, in my head, like Ospreay and Swerve kind of just like ring in my head as like similar wrestlers. I know their movesets are different, but they kind of move in the same way. And because Kenny had such good chemistry with Ospreay and Swerve has such good chemistry with Ospreay, I'm with you. I think that Kenny and Swerve is a 5-star match just waiting to happen. Yeah. Or there's a chance it goes up even higher.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Again, so much of their movesets complement one another. You have Kenny's V-Trigger versus Swerve's House Call. You have house call? That's the kick, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Big Pressure versus the One-Winged Angel. You have Kenny's moonsault. You have the swerve stomp. Like, so much of their stuff feels like natural natural complements to one another, natural like mirrors to one another. So yeah, I'm very, 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 very excited about this.
So am I. And just looking at the dates here, Grand Slam's the 14th. I think you want more than one more Dynamite to build up.
I agree.
For the two of them. So
I agree.
Pop that at Revolution. Let us go bananas. And thank you again, Tony Khan.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to some of these comments before we move on.
Yep. Let's see. We also haven't gotten Kenny versus Spike Dudley. Thank you. You know it. And then, James, this is for you. Is Brody King Boo? Wrong?
No, they're the same size, but no. I'd say... Who's Majin Buu? Bad guy, but not really a bad guy. Kind of lazy.
My King Boo is a giant ghost with a crown and a baseball bat, but...
Different Boo, but I get where you're going.
there.
I'll put some thought into that one, Maria. I like where your head's at. But I got to put some thought into that. Who Brody would be. All right, looks wise, he's the Ox King, but that's different.
I'm sure Brody could answer that question himself.
Right, probably. Let's go higher up. We missed some comments.
Oh, did we? My bad.
Yeah.
I got so distracted by you having to take a cold shower.
I regret nothing. Maria's saying she's getting tired of the screwdriver spot. It's getting old. I am too. I hate when you see the same thing over and over. And the way we've experienced Kenny with Don, this story has been going for years at this point. So, yeah, I'm very over it. Do I think Kenny will get another world championship reign?
God, I hope so.
I think so, just because I think if they didn't plan on giving it to him, I don't think they would have acknowledged that he wants another reign. They would just be putting him in storylines that don't have to do with the title. And the fact that we're going this long without, I think we're eventually going to get to it. I think so. But that might also just be me wishful thinking.
I also think if we're not giving it to him sooner than later, Kenny's going to be around for a little while longer than we might have thought post diverticulitis.
I know his contract is up in 2027. So at the very least, we've got him all for 2026, and I think into the summer of 2027. Who knows if he wants to sign a new contract? Who knows if he can sign a new contract? But at the very least, we have him for another year and a half.
Yeah, I think he's sticking around now.
I hope so. I'm running out of people here.
I know, right?
So yeah, let's hope. But yeah, I think he's going to win the world title one more time. I think they want Kenny to have a babyface run with the title.
Yeah, Maria, I see your latest comment, and I'm not putting it into the universe because I just don't want to.
Oh, I might have to. Yeah, I don't want to. Never mind.
Yep,
I regret looking at it.
We're not putting that in the universe. Sorry.
Oh God. Look, this is our little tangent. And I got to give it to our boys on the other side of the pod over at Grab Chat.
I thought it was Grab Some Grievances. Is it Grab Chat
They've
now?
changed it to Grab Chat.
Yeah.
Where the question was, do you think AJ Styles is retired? Yes or no? And I really don't know. I really don't. If he is retired, that the glove thing was a horrible way to go. If he's not retired, where does he go? And that option is really TNA or AEW. And I know there's a lot of poetry to AJ finishing up in TNA because that's where he really started. That's where, not started, but that's where he became AJ Styles, really. And I get that. As the TNA guy, there is nothing there of value for him. Like, there just really isn't. As opposed... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I know he kind of had that thing with Santana recently. Him versus Frankie one more time could be fun.
I don't give a shit. Like,
just for the nostalgia, but...
Would you rather... I'm asking this 100% serious. Would you rather AJ Styles goes to TNA to wrestle Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian, or would you rather AJ Styles goes to AEW to wrestle Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay?
Oh, it's obviously the latter. And you
Exactly.
get Joe in there too.
You get Joe, AJ versus Swerve.
I mean, I only need those first three because I don't know what he's got left.
Yeah, I yes. So I don't need Kenny in WWE. I need AJ in AEW.
Yeah, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get it. I understand why he wants to step away. I was thinking of when I was talking to my friend during the Rumble, I was like, everything with AJ and everything I hear about him having to show up really early to like prep and like do a lot of cool down stuff so he doesn't get hurt. It reminds me of David Wright in the 2015 World Series where they'd have a 7:00 game. He's showing up at noon because it's taking him that long for them to warm up and stretch him out and do all the medical work so that he can play. So I imagine, I don't think AJ has something similar where Wright had that serious neck and back injury, but he had spinal stenosis, I believe. But, you know, it's just Wright was also 32. You know, AJ is 48, 49 years old.
And not taking away anything from baseball players, but what a
much rougher life.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I don't have these grand illusions that AJ is going to go on like a run if he comes to AEW, but I would love to see him get a couple matches in.
Yeah,
and he will, and we're good. Truly, the only match I really care about him doing in TNA is him versus Leon Slater.
Yeah, they teased that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we got the tag team match at Saturday night's main event. But I think that would be the only one-on-one match that I would truly care about. I saw it. I don't fucking like it. I'm trying not to be rude, but I don't like it.
Maria's just throwing things in the chat that we both just hate.
Well, I think we both got one there. Like Kenny and WWE. No. Kenny versus Gunther. Let me just kill myself.
The match itself isn't a bad idea. It's just if it's for his career, then we're all going to immediately hate it.
I've never I'm being real. We call ourselves marks. We're a little smarky. I can separate the wrestler from the person. If I ever see Gunther in real life, I think I'm swinging. Like I don't want to be that person, but frankly,
you're gonna swing on a dude of that size. Okay.
I learned a lesson that John apparently forgot, which is never give up. I don't care if he's putting me down. I gotta at least give him my shot.
All right, you know it's getting mad we're not showing Maria's comments. I guess. All right, here you go. I'll do them quick. Kenny WWE, no.
Cursed image.
Nope.
Cursed.
Kenny versus Gunther, decent on paper, not happening.
No, screw him.
Especially for his retirement match. AJ Styles being a member of the Don Callis family.
I don't know.
Not.
I have not seen Maria just this unhinged in our comments, I think, ever. And I don't like it. I think the only time was really during the She Who Shall Not Be Named at this moment lost.
Yeah.
I think that was the only other time. But this just feels personal.
This one brought it back, though. AJ versus Jay White would be a good match.
Yeah. Look, I can officially say, because there was a time that there was talent that I would just straight up say in AEW would have benefited from going to WWE. That is not a feeling I feel right now. There is so much talent in WWE that I think would benefit from going to AEW. I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 people from the AEW side that I think would benefit going to WWE.
Yeah. And I mean, especially if you believe what Ricochet said over the last couple of days, then that's probably right.
That's spicy. That's some spicy commenting.
That's a spicy meat the ball. But we have gone on a very long tangent here, so I'm going to get us back to the show because we only have a few more things left. So after our Kenny Andrade match and everything that happened with Swerve, we came back from commercial with a backstage interview with Chris Statlander. So Renee lays out the situation for us. In exchange for not being out there for the upcoming women's tag team match, and I believe the Triangle of Madness also wasn't allowed out there, but they didn't explicitly say it. Statlander has agreed to give Thekla another AEW Women's Championship match, as long as Statlander gets to pick the stipulation. So Renee relays this to all of us and asks Stat what she thinks. And Stat says that she knows she needs to pick a stipulation for all the AEW sickos who know that she can be way more toxic, than Tekla. That's tough to say. As for the stipulation, we will find out on Collision as long as Tekla is a good girl tonight. But whatever she picks, Tekla better hope that the Cosmic Killer is just a nickname. That then leads into our women's tag team eliminator match, which saw the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale face off against the newly named Megabad, which is Megan Bayne, and Penelope Ford. Side note, I thought that was Bayne's name with Joey Janela, but I guess not.
It's on loan.
Is it?
I don't fucking look.
She is the bad girl Penelope Ford.
I don't fucking care. Who is doing this? Let's just put this into perspective here. Megabad. Horsecock. I'm not saying horsecock is inventive or anything, but at least it felt clever.
I mean, they're also using Jet Set Rodeo, so is that a reference I don't get, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know if I should feel old or young.
I assumed I whooshed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Names aside, this came about from Collision, where Ford and Bayne attacked Willow and Harley after their title match on Collision against the Sisters of Sin, and then Statlander came down for the save, and then she got taken out by Tekla. So that's how all of that happened. Jumped to the end of the match. As Willow and Harley settled for a soul food suplex combo, Ford came in and threw Harley into the turnbuckles. Willow then followed that up by throwing Ford off the ropes and attempting to hit something. She kind of just tossed her. But Penelope landed right in the arms of Bayne, and then so Bayne caught her and took her and threw her back at Willow, and Ford hit a cutter, and that took Willow out, and she rolled out of the ring. Bayne then went over and got the staggered Cameron up on her shoulders as Ford climbed up to the top rope, and then the two combined for the Doomsday device, and Ford pinned Harley to win the match, and now they get a shot at the women's tag team titles at Grand Slam. So, James, good match.
Yes.
Nice to see Ford and Bayne back together again. I think they had a match last week, but I think it's really also nice that they got a win over the women's tag champs because they didn't get a shot to go together in the inaugural tournament. So nice little, I guess, thing for them here. We'll see if they win the tag titles in, I guess, a week and a half. But for now, at least they have that win over the champs.
So, yes, I agree everything you just said. I think the big thing here is, and commentary did mention it, it's very rare that we see the challenger actually win the Eliminator.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the last time the challenger won an Eliminator. I know it's happened. I know it happened.
It does.
But it's been a minute.
Twice tonight.
Yeah. Well, no, for sure. But I thought it, because this one, obviously, we talked about the other one first, but like this happened first. And I think there was less of a guarantee of this than there was with Brody.
Yes.
So I really did enjoy this a lot. Obviously, I love Harley, but like if there is a champion to pin, Harley makes sense. Like, no offense, but she is. So I thought this was very well done. I'm very happy for Penelope Ford, who's back in action and has seamlessly fit right back in with Megan Bayne. I'm not rooting against Harley and Willow. I wish they had a tag team name. But I'm not rooting against them, but I am very much rooting for Bayne, who, again, I told you guys before, Matt and I were at this show, and it was Jet Speed versus Megan Bayne and Joey Janela. And I have been the biggest person who, despite being a big fan of Bayne, has been defending why she isn't on TV all the time, or at least on Dynamite all the time. And it's because it's clear she still needs more reps. But watching that match on Saturday or Sunday, it's not in the ring anymore that she needs these reps. She is absolutely putting on bangers, and she is absolutely doing her part. If it's the mic work that we're worried about, the promo that she helped cut earlier in the night backstage, pre-tape, she delivered. You know, she more than delivered. And if you're worried about her being live on a mic in front of a crowd, that's why you have Penelope Ford, who is more than capable of doing it. So I loved what she said in that promo earlier in the night. I've been watching people lower than me getting shots that should be going to me. I'm paraphrasing. I apologize.
No, that's
but
fine.
Like I love that, because I do think she came in with so much gusto, so much moxie, and then we kind of just put her onto the side when she's the only person who Tony survived in her title reign. So I'm glad to see this happening. Again, not rooting against Willow and Harley, but very much rooting for Megan Bayne.
Yeah, me too. I always, root for her. We're big fans of her at the pod. Obviously, we met her a few times at House of Glory. That first match I ever saw her, and that's why I became such a big fan. That was a banger. I didn't even think she needed reps then.
Her and Lena Cross, yeah. I think Lena is signed now to AEW.
Dope. Tony Khan, run that shit back.
I know. I'm not 100% certain, but I think I heard that she got signed.
Just go find her and let her run it back anyway. If you want to sign her, that's how you do it. Just run that back. She puts on a banger match, and everyone's like, yo, you have to sign her.
Yeah. So it was reported 2 months ago that she might have been signed to AEW, and Fightful reported tonight that there are a lot of signings in AEW that we do not know about yet that are official, and that they're going to be slowly being revealed, and a good chunk of them are in the women's division.
Cool. I'm glad we're getting some more depth there as well, because with the tag team division, you could absolutely use it.
Yeah. I would not be shocked to see Dakota Kai. I would not be shocked to see Lena Cross. And yeah.
Hell yeah. Love Dakota. What, throwing out there, he was glad to see the women use the ropes a little more than usual tonight. I thought that was cool.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I did. Look, I just thought this was a very well-rounded match. And it wasn't in the time slot of death. It was right before it.
It didn't go super long. It wasn't short. It got a good little chunk of time, and I think all four delivered.
Yeah, and especially considering, too, they're going to run this back in a week and a half. You can't use everything. Exactly.
It's an eliminator. An eliminator. Going back to the comments, we'll just hit a couple of these before we go. It's saying, seems like WWE just keeps playing keep away with talent, signs them but doesn't use them, just keeps them away from AEW.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When you have that type of money, you can. You just grab people, put them on, the back burner and never deal with them.
Yeah. Maria saying Chris Statlander should turn heel to spark her title reign. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but I thought her promo tonight was great.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought her promo tonight was really good.
Mega Problem. Yeah, obviously, because that's also just a bad name.
Well, Mega Problems is her and Marina, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mega Problems, Mega Bad, Mega Sis. There you go. I think the thing with Stat, where you don't really currently have to turn her heel, is she's still Statlander and she can still be fun and bubbly and, Galaxy's favorite alien, but she's got an edge to her now.
Yes.
One that she didn't have before. She did have that heel turn and had the whole thing with Willow, which I knew it went out the fucking window, but there wasn't really that as much of an edge to her before that as there is now.
I got to respectfully disagree.
Unless it goes back further.
One of my favorite lines that I've ever heard a babyface cut was babyface Chris Statlander against Layla Hirsch, where she says, "You're such a brat, and if you were like this as a kid, no wonder your parents gave you up for adoption."
I forgot about that.
Which is fucking bonkers for a babyface to say.
I think that might have been Daly's Place era too, right?
I don't know. I don't think it was that far back. But I remember when I first heard it, when that happened, I was like, what the fuck? And then somebody just pushed it on Reddit a day or two ago. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
I did forget about that.
There's always been a little bit of an edge. But yeah.
A murder was committed here, sources tell ESPN.
Seriously.
I just still liked when she popped out of the claw machine and slammed the glass into Ford's face, and then the makeup just stayed there.
that was fantastic. All right. Keep it going.
All right. After this, we come back backstage with the new TNT champion, Tommaso Ciampa.
Psycho Killer.
I believe I had that. So because he won the championship in an open challenge, Ciampa declares that he will be continuing having the open challenges out of respect for both the TNT championship and for Mark Briscoe. But everyone should know that the newly dubbed Sylvie likes her new home and she doesn't plan on leaving for a long, long time. James.
I know I'm asking the wrong person about colors, so I apologize. The belt doesn't look silver to me.
I thought it was the lighting in this instance. It usually has a good chunk of silver on it, though. The TNT logo, I think, is usually silver, and then the rest of the colors change. But yeah, you're asking the wrong person.
It looked gold, and I
thought it was the lighting. I thought it was the lighting.
I don't know, and I know I'm asking the wrong person, but I swear to you, when I watched it and he said Sylvie, I thought to myself, I can't talk to Rev about this, but I don't know what I'm seeing.
It's definitely not like the gold on the title behind you. It's not you know, if it is a gold, it's more of a rose gold. But I thought it was silver, and it was just a little off with the lighting. Anyway, as for the open challenge, apparently 2 people answered it, and we are getting a triple threat between Ciampa, Roderick Strong, and Claudio Castagnoli on Saturday.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh man,
good old Ring of Honor triple threat right there.
No, it really is. Look, I've said this before. I will say it again. I have been a Ciampa fan since Ring of Honor. I remember when he was the Sicilian psychopath. I remember when he had that very shitty mohawk.
I saw pictures of that last week.
I have always been a gigantic Ciampa fan. When it came to DIY, everybody loved Gargano. I was rooting for that bald bastard. And I am so happy. He broke an AEW record from the quickest signing to winning a title. 3 days.
Yep.
It's the new AEW record. He's tied for Mercedes Moné for being the only other person to win a title in their first match in AEW.
I believe it was Moné's record he broke, by the way.
Yeah. So I am so thrilled for him. This match on Saturday is gonna slap. And I'm sad for Mark because I think the title reign could have gone on a little longer, but I also don't think Mark needs the title. So overall, so happy for him, really rooting for him. This is an example of what I was saying before, where there are guys in WWE right now who will benefit so much from the AEW jump if they were to take it. And my God, I could not be happier for Tommaso.
No, I feel the same way because you just saw like the difference in the level of respect that he had, just even from management, just from the entrance he got last Wednesday. He was coming out to more or less crickets in WWE, in a tag team I love, but was never treated well
on the main roster.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Sorry.
They did win, like they had tag title runs, but like those tag titles are meaningless right now, unfortunately, over on SmackDown.
Did DIY win the tag titles on the main roster?
Yeah,
I believe you. I just don't.
Yeah, they had them for a little bit. It's just again, they're on. It was on SmackDown, and no one cares about that division. Motor City Machine Guns are MIA.
I don't want to talk about it because of how much it upsets me. But you were inactive in the chat when I said it. But like, if you are a tag team wrestler or a tag team,
I saw
run from WWE. Run from WWE. Like, that's not even me being subjective. That's not me with a bias, guys. Raw's tag team champions are the Usos. The War Raiders, or whatever the fuck they're called right now, just lost a 2-on-1 against Obafemi.
All right, technically they just got attacked. It wasn't a match, but
I thought it was a match.
No, because they were scheduled to have a tag match, and then Oba just came down and kicked the shit out of them.
All right, fair enough. I apologize. Still not great.
No, not at all.
I like, just don't be a tag team in WWE. Like, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it, and that sucks to say. But like, I think Shelley and Sabin would find more success as singles guys. Montez Ford, my God.
Yeah. So yeah, either go singles or get out, I guess. But this is why last Wednesday when he appeared, I was like, give him the title. And not even just give him the title because it's Ciampa and he's cool and whatever. Also, too, I was just like, if you really want to show, like, we're going to treat this guy with the level of respect he deserves, go out and give him the title. And they did. And not only am I happy I was right, but I think it's the right move here, James. I really do.
No, I do too. There's a rumor. I don't know how substantial it is. I think there might be some BS to it, but there's a rumor Gargano's contract isn't much longer.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
We'll see. No, I will say, I don't necessarily want DIY in AEW, but I wouldn't say no to Gargano in AEW.
I want both, but not. It doesn't have to be off the bat, but you got to give me them versus the Bucks.
Yeah.
At some point.
Them versus FTR again.
You got to run that back probably at least once. And I'm trying to think of the other.
I think it should be an example. I think it should be an example of these two guys are singles wrestlers who will team up versus these two guys are a tag team who will wrestle singles. There is a substantial difference.
Yeah. Why am I blanking on who has the AEW tag titles right now? Oh, it is FTR.
Yeah.
It's completely blank.
They're essentially mostly Collision Cowboys.
That's true. Hell, you could also, if and when they come back, you could run DIY versus Edge and Christian if you really wanted to do that too. Yeah, that sounds like a great match and something I bet you Copeland would really love to do. So,
absolutely. Yeah,
if Gargano could come over, there's a lot of room to play with the tag team, and obviously right now there's a lot of room for Ciampa to play with the new TNT Championship. So, hype for that match on Saturday. And I know we went a little long on a very short segment, but I wanted to give James a little time to talk about Ciampa showing up since he wasn't here last week. All right, just a couple more segments. Let's get to the last match we got to cover here, which was Ricochet versus Jungle Jack Perry for the AEW National Championship. I will jump to the end here. After Jack kicked out of some big moves, Ricochet went out to the timekeeper's area, grabbed his title, and slid it into the ring. Obviously, referee Rick Knox was like, you can't do that. So he picked it up and he went to the other side of the ring to put the title underneath the turnbuckles instead of just throwing it back out for some reason. Ricochet then comes in and tries to kick Jack low, but Perry was able to catch the boot and went on the offensive, and that led to a big cutter that Ricochet was able to kick out of. The two then had some roll-ups going back and forth, and Perry was able to eventually get Ricochet in the snare trap. And he kept him away from the ropes for so long that eventually GOA came out on the ramp to help out Ricochet. As Khan distracted Knox, Leona went over and grabbed Ricochet and dragged him to the ropes, which forced a break when Knox eventually turned around. So the Young Bucks then decided to come out to try to help Jack. Matt came out with a chair and just wrapped it around Khan's back. And Nick hit a really nice dive onto Leona down below from the ramp. The two groups then ended up fighting their way to the back. And once again, referee Rick Knox got very distracted.
He does that.
So Ricochet went over to the corner, grabbed the title belt, and wrapped it around the middle turnbuckle. Jack came charging in at Ricochet. Ricochet was able to counter, grab him, and throw Perry face first into the title belt. Ricochet then grabbed him, hit the vertigo, and pinned him to retain his championship. And then out of that, real quick, I found this out after while we were doing the show here. On Collision, Gates of Agony will be facing the Young Bucks, and the winners go to a 3-way contenders match on Dynamite next week. And one of those three teams will be the Rascals.
Yes.
It'll be Rascals.
Myron
of Young. Oh, did you know which Rascals?
I think it's Myron and Wentz.
Cool. So it'll be them versus the winners of GOA versus Young Bucks versus a third team. Winner of that goes on to face, I think, FTR, for the tag titles. In the meantime, though, James, this was a good match. It was time slotted deathy, but there was some good high flying. It was almost like it was just a really good cruiserweight match almost.
Yeah,
I know they don't really qualify, but it kind of felt like that.
I'll fix it for you. It felt very X Division.
Yeah, good call.
It felt very X Division, and I thought that was good. I feel bad for Jack because he's in a weird spot right now where I don't know where you slot him.
Yeah, no Luchasaurus hurts.
Yeah, no Luchasaurus hurts. He doesn't really feel like he should win a singles title right now. I wouldn't be opposed to Jack Perry being the national champion, but I was not a fan of the thought of Ricochet losing the national title yet. I think the best course of action, and it's tough because of who has the belt right now, but I do think maybe the best course of action is the Bucks and Perry winning the trios titles at some point.
I was going to say you could put them in the trios, but I had the same thought where you have Jet Set Rodeo as the trios tag titles right now. And I don't that match could work, but I don't think you take it off of them at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, but I will say Hangman feels more focused on the world title than he does the trios title.
Right, so there is a way to get the titles off of them quickly. Because I also think, too, they mostly have the titles because Hobbs was leaving and they had to get it off the Hobbs.
Exactly. So I do think that's probably the best course of action. I mean, look, God willing, Luchasaurus comes back sooner than later. Both for just his health reasons and his career, and because I think it would benefit Jack the most. But I think maybe the trios title is the best thing for him right now. And I think, not that I'm rooting for Jet Set Rodeo to lose it, but I think the win was them winning the titles in the first place. I don't think they need to have a long run with it.
Yeah, they could use a defense or two. I don't know if they have yet. But like you said, Hangman is so wrapped up in the world title situation that he's distracted from defending the trios titles. Although it is funny, I feel like the trios titles have been wrapped up in the world title situation quite a bit for the last year or so. But that is what it is. Really quick side note, I looked it up. Jet Set Radio was a game for the Dreamcast in 2000. That's what Jet Set Rodeo comes from.
So I was old enough, but I would not have known. I would not have.
Well, do you have a Dreamcast?
I don't think so. My uncle did.
I didn't have a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was that big of a game. I just kind of pulled it up here. It got re-released in 2012. Okay. But yeah, it's an old rollerblading game. So think Tony Hawk with rollerblades. Anyway,
who does that appeal to? What audience is that for? All right, whatever.
Dude, I have a Rocket Power game that kind of felt like that, but it was Rocket Power, and you could skateboard as well, depending on who you're using. But I do think, getting back to Perry really quick, I think if he doesn't end up in a trio with the Bucks at the moment, then he's definitely going to be a guy who could go and answer the TNT Open Challenge and have a decent match with Ciampa in the meantime.
For sure, but you have to think long term. Where does he move up and forward?
Right,
because just being a guy who challenges doesn't mean anything.
Right, because is he just in a holding pattern until Luchasaurus comes back? Yeah. Or do you actually have to do something with him? And frankly, I really think that depends on Luchasaurus' prognosis and when he's able to return. Yeah,
for sure. Just going these comments real quick. Maria saying Hangman and Jet Speed don't need the trios titles. I agree. I think we're all on the same page. It needed to be done because of reasons. I'm happy that they got it, but it doesn't need to go long. Just throwing some hate out there. He's actually the one who should sign with WWE and can become Punk's young boy. Apparently that's Roman Reigns.
Oh, snap.
I mean, that's what he said in the promo.
That's
what he said in the promo. Soul Calibur. Was that I know the game. I didn't know if it was on Dreamcast though.
Yeah, that was on Dreamcast. I have it on 360, but it was a thing. It was, I think Soul Calibur, I think originally was mostly a arcade game, and then they ported it to other stuff like Dreamcast, which apparently it doesn't know what that is. Damn, dude.
Don't worry, you know it.
It was a great system.
Yeah. I mean, no one has said it. We're pups compared to him.
he is the old head. But yeah, that came out in like the night, like 95. That came out around like the PS2 and the it was probably, was it the PS2?
I was gonna say,
I'm trying to think about when GameCube came out, because I think it was like N64 and then the PS2. No, it would have been, if it was PS2, it was very, very early PS2. So I think it was more of the N64, PS1.
PS2
Dreamcast.
released in 2000.
Okay, so it would have been right around there, but I think Dreamcast was older. I think Dreamcast was around for a while, but that was Sega's last system.
Dreamcast was 98.
Okay.
Well, no, it launched in America in 99. In 99.
Right.
In September. So there's really only like a 4-month period between Dreamcast and PS2.
Okay, so yeah, that was that gen, and then GameCube came later, but that's still considered that generation. Is it like Atari? Yes, it's a video game system.
If you've ever played Pong, it's just a couple generations after Pong.
I actually have Pong, kind of. Well, actually, I do. I have Atari 2600. But yeah, so it was great. Way ahead of its time. I don't have time to get into all of that, but it was very much ahead of its time. Great system.
Horrible controller.
Yeah, the controller was bad because they put like the memory card in the controller, but like you could also, there was a thing you could attach to it to like have a mini screen while you're playing. There was a lot of really cool shit in there. It was tough to execute in 98.
Yeah. All right, let's start wrapping this up.
Yeah, last thing, we got the War Dogs one more time. They broke into the production truck and were holding them hostage until they played the War Dogs video, which showed Kid and Connors dragging Darby in a body bag behind their car on a dirt desert road. Eventually, they stopped. They went over. Gabe unzipped the body bag, and Darby was bound, and he had his mouth taped up. There you go. He was blindfolded, and Kid was just putting his foot into Darby's neck and trash talking him. And eventually, they zip him back up. Kid has Connors cut the rope behind their car, and they drive away, and they just leave Darby in the middle of the desert in Las Vegas. So he's dead.
Yeah, no, he would be. He absolutely would be. I gotta ask, who just has a body bag?
Darby.
But do you think they got his body bag? No.
They could have. I don't know.
They put him in a trunk. It was clearly their body bag.
I guess.
I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be that easy to get a body bag.
I bet you $5 I could find one on not even on eBay, on Amazon.
I wouldn't get it, man. Let me just tell you, I would not purchase that.
I'm not saying I would purchase it. I'm just saying I'd probably get one. So yeah, he's dead unless he pulls I'll be your Doug and gets a ride home. The last things here, Maria, Saturn or Genesis. I was more of a Genesis kid.
I was a Genesis
because I played it more because I just checked and Saturn was 94, 95. So I was 2 and 3 when they came out.
I was Genesis. I was playing Sonic. I was playing Lion King. I was playing Aladdin.
I have both of those on my Xbox.
Yeah. I was playing Power Rangers. I was playing the hardest game, X-Men. Do you know the bullshit with the X-Men on Sega?
No.
That game was co-opted by like this parents organization that felt video games were a problem, and if kids were going to be playing them, they needed to be problem solvers and they needed to be educated while playing. So they made it so fucking difficult. And then to get to the final level, the level before it, you needed to turn off the game without saving. And that unlocks the final level. And here's the fun part. You don't know this. There's no directions for this.
There's no way anybody knows that in late 90s, early 2000s. And I bet you they're not putting it in Game Power or whatever that magazine was called. That is some horse shit. I thought you were going to say the bullshit about the Lion King, where I think it was Lion King or Aladdin. I think it was Lion King. But Disney had the developer make it so difficult because they didn't want kids to beat it within the time of a rental at Blockbuster.
Yep.
They wanted you to have to buy it in order to beat it, to push their sales up.
And I think if you died, you have to go all the way back to level 1.
In Lion King?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. They put in the ports, they put in rewind buttons. So if you fell, you just rewind and you can do it again. Because they're like, these games are fucking impossible. So we're going to give you guys a little bit of a cheat here.
Just awful.
Good old games. All right, last thing. It wants to know who our Super Bowl picks are. I will go first as a Jets fan. Fuck the Patriots.
Yes, fuck the Patriots.
That is our answer. Also,
Yeah.
it's not the evil empire. It's the First Order.
That makes me sad. No, I'm rooting. Even if it wasn't the Patriots, I'd be rooting for the Seahawks.
Yeah, just fuck the Pats. But all right, James, that was Dynamite. I enjoyed this episode a lot. Very wrestling heavy. I don't really think we didn't really get any extended in-ring promos. We got like one or two after matches. As you mentioned, a lot of heels winning tonight, but all of this in an effort to set up Grand Slam, which is in just 2 more episodes. So obviously you have Collision, and then you have Dynamite next week, and then you have Grand Slam. So I think they did a great job. You probably get a bunch of promos next week setting all of this stuff up for Grand Slam. And I think we're looking forward to a very good card in Australia.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I doubt I'm going to be able to. I think I'm not going to be able to watch it live because it's Valentine's Day. But
my schedule's free.
It's not only Valentine's Day, it's Allie's birthday. So I doubt I'm watching wrestling on that Saturday, which is more than fine with me. But yes, I'm looking forward to your review.
We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing. I could just end up out. It's me. Who knows?
There you go. Attaboy.
Yeah, right. But I was very hyped for this. Kenny versus Andrade was everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I'd say that was my match of the night.
Yeah, it was match of the night. I think segment of the night though goes to the main event just because of the shock.
No, I agree. I agree. See, match of the night is Kenny Andrade. Segment of the night is main event and what happened after. But number 2 for segment of the night is close for me with Kenny and Swerve, just because of the tease of it. Not that it was some great segment, but it's something I'm just really looking forward to.
Yeah, and they've been properly, laying those breadcrumbs out with the things when Hangman and Kenny are all playing nice, and then Swerve is also there, and he's just really wants to kill Kenny. Yeah. No reference intended. So I'm looking forward to that match in the future. Again, I think we both think that's going to be a Revolution match. But in the interim, I'm super hyped for Grand Slam.
Yeah.
All right, and on that note, I would like to thank everybody so much for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. We'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. If you liked the video and lets us know that you're enjoying what we're doing here on the show, and we can keep doing it. And if you subscribe, continue to get all the great stuff we do here on the podcast. We got a Gym Pack Zone tomorrow. We back.
That is the plan. Yeah, that is the plan.
Hell yeah. So for you TNA fans, join James for the Gym Pack Zone tomorrow. Make sure you got your AMC subscriptions ready to go. Why I'm cutting promos for AMC, I don't know, but I am. No free ads. Let's see. We don't really have any pay-per-views coming up, I don't think. So
no pay-per-views. The plan is tentatively Matt and I are going to cover the show we went to on Sunday, where it was a very fun event run by Crush Art or Orange Crush, and they had JCW, they had GCW talent, they had AEW talent, they had TNA talent. It was for a good cause. It was for the neurodivergent community. So that was really cool. And it was just an overall fun show. So we'll be happy to talk about it again. Go check us out on social media. Matt went above and beyond with clips from this show, and it was just a good time. And next week, not next weekend, 2 weekends from now, Rev and I will be at House of Glory.
Yep, that Friday.
Which is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah. After that, I guess March is the next pay-per-view for us for AEW.
Yeah, that'll be a Revolution. I will do my best to cover Grand Slam. Like I said, we'll see.
No pressure. No pressure.
Because the last one was so good. I definitely will be watching it, but I my Saturdays get busy. I'm going to try, I promise to try.
I can tell you this. Australia is my dream destination for a trip. I would love to spend 6 months in Australia. Will that ever happen? Doubt it. Will I love a good 2-week trip to Australia? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be for this show.
I don't think you have enough time to book that right now.
Yeah. I will say, and I mean this, I traveled to Texas for Kenny versus Okada. I will travel anywhere for Kenny AJ.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to.
Let's see.
Yeah, just also wanted to mention, you mentioned Matt putting up some of the clips from the show on Sunday on our social media. I know he put up a couple here on YouTube as well. I think he's going to also migrate a few more over. So if you subscribe and you don't really have Instagram, you can see those here. And then you have Grap Chat, which is the guys' sit-down show. Eric, Danny, and Matt's been joining them as well. So be sure to check that out.
They want me to go on, and I'm trying. They were like, James, you got to come this weekend. And I said yes. And then I realized it's Super Bowl Sunday. So, guys, I don't think I'm going to be there on Sunday. But if I am, we're doing it fucking early.
Fair enough. I don't know when I'll be on that show, but I'm sure I will be at some point. And then does that come out Sunday or Monday?
It comes out on Monday. They film it on Sunday.
Okay, so be sure to subscribe to see that on Mondays. We mentioned Instagram, along with Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Those links are all in the description below here if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching over on Facebook or on Twitter and you want to follow some other places, Twitter's at marketdown_pod. Instagram is at marketdownpod. YouTube.com/marketdown3665. Marketdownpod.bsky.social is my domain, so be sure to check me out over there if you don't like using Twitter anymore for reasons, or just search Market Down Podcast on any of the social platforms and you will find us there. James, anything else before we get out of here?
Looking forward to you guys. I know Matt is planning, not right away, but I know Matt is planning an AEW giveaway for Jet Speed sooner than later. And
it's the signed hat. So
yeah,
I believe it was the one from, was it a World's End hat?
Full Gear,
excuse me. I knew it was one of the ones in Prudential.
That'll be fun. And yeah, now that I'm back and somehow paler from my trip to Mexico than I was before I went, I am very happy to be back in the rotation here with you guys.
Yes, I am as well, because I almost destroyed my voice last week.
There you go.
You know it. How dare you? All right, so
what are we doing tonight, guys?
I know you guys are throwing out the most ridiculous shit tonight, but it's been fun, yo. So for James Asante, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. Have a good one, everyone, and happy birthday, Grayson.